back to Andy's Workbench. It's great to have you back. Today, we're going to have some fun with the 500 rack. Now, if you're like me, you're never quite satisfied with looking at an empty 500 rack. I mean, I'm really happy with the modules. They went in great. They're working great. But now I have 8 slots, which gives me this huge empty space. Which, of course, you could use for a flashlight or, coffee or even a snack. So I went online and I started looking at some, blanks to fill in the spaces. And, they're $15 a piece. And it's not like that's astronomical. But if you want 8 of them, that's $120 plus shipping and tax. Well, that's almost halfway to another module. Not acceptable. So, what do? Well, you go online and you look around and you look for other options, right? That's what I do. And I happen to find one. And you can get them pre-cut at Tap Plastics. I'll put the link below. Check it out. Slightly different price point. Each one of these cost $1 pre-cut plus tax. So I got a couple extra to mess around with. And I couldn't wait, so I started messing around and I cut one. And a little bit of, playing around with the measurements. They are, according to my ruler, 1.5 by 5 1/4. Not exactly. It's about a 32nd of an inch less than 1.5. The 5 1/4 you get a little bit of play with. Even between the cabbie racks, I've noticed that the faceplates are slightly different sizes. But you can't mess with the width because, of course, as you stack them up side by side, they're going to get a little bit longer. So you got to go just about a 32nd of an inch less on the side. And it's about 2/16 from the top. I played around with it. I pretty much nailed the measurements on the holes, but then you got to get them centered, and that is a little bit of a trick. So I've been kind of making a guide and playing around with that, and also playing around with polishing the edges because that looks nice. So I got red, I got black, and I got blue, just to play around and have a couple different selections. Pretty great, right? So, hey, we're gonna make some blanks. Well, blanks are kind of boring, don't you think? I mean, just looking at that, or even a black one on the front of your rack, it's, nothing to it, really. So, what do? Well, then you go to the electronics store, of course, and you get a couple potentiometers. And maybe a switch or two. Oh, and some lights. I got some red ones, and I got some green ones, and a couple resistors to put in line to knock the voltage down from a 9-volt battery to about 1.5, 2 volts for these little lights, and a couple knobs to go on your potentiometers. I particularly like this one. I think that's cool. And this black one, just to add some variety. Altogether, I spent less than half of what it costs to get a bunch of blank panels. So, I mean, if you're not having fun, let's just not even bother. So this is a real fun experiment. I put together a quick schematic, which I'll show you, and how we're gonna wire this up. And we might not do all of them, but at least 4, or at least a couple lights on some, a couple knobs on another, a couple switches on another. Mix and match. Let's have some fun, because that's what it's all about. And first, before we get down to business, I want to thank everybody again for their great comments, their great encouragement, and continue to like and share and subscribe and hit the bell, because, I want you to see more content coming, and I want to be able to keep on doing this. This is so much fun. So thanks again, and let's get to work. You can actually see the nice smooth edge there. Looks nice when you look at it. Now, you're not going to really see the sides, but you will see the top. And so if it's nice and clean, as opposed to kind of rough, you can see the difference there. You see the saw marks across that. So the way we do that is we get some sandpaper and we just simply move it back and forth. Now this is doing two things. This is taking down a little bit of the edge, that 32nd that we need, and we'll do both sides. Plus it's giving us a smooth edge. Now this is the first pass. And we'll do the top. Take your time on the top so you get into the groove of it. And then the bottom. Don't press too hard. Nice and easy. And that's so much better already, right? So that is the 240. Then you get yourself 400, which I have over here. Lay that out. Amazing the difference. All right, same thing with the top. And the bottom. All right. Now, here's the amazing stuff. Heavy scratch remover and fine scratch remover. All right, check that out. Okay, just a couple bucks for each one of these, and it puts an amazing finish on it. So first, we'll do the heavy scratch remover. And we put just a little bit down. Pick up your block, dab it through. And you do the same motion that you did on the sanding block. Now, I leave the paper on the acrylic so it protects it on the front and back sides. Look at that. Look how shiny that is. Here's before, here's after, here's before. See the difference? Look at the shine there. Amazing, right? Then you just do the other side. And this is just the rough scratch. There you go. Again, there's the side, there's the top. Let's just do the top. And I'm just using a standard little cloth. It's not a heavy terry cloth. Look at that. And there you have it. Next up, the fine scratch remover. All right, just to give it a final polish. And again, just a little bit. On either side. And it really gives it a high gloss finish. See, there's before, there's after. Look at that, just a couple strokes on there. And now you got a high gloss finish. And we're going to do that to each one. Only takes a few minutes. And then we'll measure it out and cut our holes. So we got our template. Essentially, I made holes for both pots, the switch, and the light. And marked them up so we'll know which holes to make for the rest of them. Now we won't have all of the switches and knobs and buttons and lights in all one. So probably just a knob, a switch, a light, designed, laid out however we want. But at least we have the holes so we know how we can make it work. Looking forward to it. This is exciting. Kind of geeky, right? I mean, who wouldn't want something like that just sitting there in the rack? Here is the wiring diagram. We start with a 9-volt battery. We have a set of green lights, and we have a set of red lights. And first we're going to run the negative rail to each negative part of each bulb. And then we're going to put a resistor in line with the positive end of the switch going to the positive side of each bulb. And I'm using one resistor to feed both positive sides of 2 bulbs. The way it worked out, each switch turns on 2 bulbs, and there are 4 switches. That's just the way I laid it out. You could lay it out any way you want. Well, I hope you like the way that turned out. I like having panels in the spaces while I'm waiting to build more 500 units. They came out really cool. I'd like to know what you think. Leave a comment. Like the video. Subscribe. We'll see you soon next time on Andy's Workbench.